Okay. All right. This worksheet of notes is um, on Canvas. So if you would like to go to your Canvas calendar for today's date, it's called Present Perfect Notes in Practice, as you can see. And it might be helpful to, hi Avery.
Hi.
It might be helpful to have this worksheet up on your computer, or if you have a minute and you want to print it out, you could do that. Or just look at it and take your own notes, whatever. Probably looking at it and taking your own notes might be most effective, and then you can refer to it later. But it is on your Canvas calendar under today's date for this activity. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you have a question or want to interrupt me, you can try the chat feature and I'll see if I can, if I notice that, or unmute yourself and feel free to interrupt me anytime, okay? I'm not, hang on guys, I'm not hot. All right, so we are learning the present perfect tense, and what that means is we're going to learn how to say what we have and have not done in the past. Super helpful, really great advance to your Spanish. There's all kinds of perfect tenses, and in Spanish 4, if you stick with me, we'll learn the past perfect, the future perfect, the conditional perfect, and these are all ways of saying like I have eaten, I had eaten, I would have eaten, and I will have eaten. So just by slightly manipulating the verb haber, in fact, we can say all these different verb tenses. So it's super duper helpful. We want to be able to, Christina, in our book, Viva el Toro, she wants to earn credit for her time in Spain. So in order to do so, she has to write a couple letters to her Spanish teacher, letting her know what she's been doing. So how do we say, I have been enjoying my time in Spain. I have been meeting new people. I have seen all these things. I have, I have eaten Spanish food. I have visited the cathedrals. My family has invited me to many cultural experiences, some of which I have enjoyed, others I have not enjoyed, right? So we need this verb tense to be able to communicate that. So in English, everybody understands what we're trying to do here. It's the have or has, plus in English, it's like the ed form. I have talked, I have walked, I have eaten, I have slept, etc. Okay, so that's what we're trying to accomplish in Spanish. So just like in English, there are two parts. There's the have, has part, and then there is the main verb part, okay? The have, has part comes from a present tense conjugation of the verb haber, followed with a verb form that's called the past participle. In English, the past participle usually ends in an ed, but there are some irregulars, same as in Spanish. So to conjugate, to form this verb tense, first thing we do is conjugate the verb haber in the present tense. So has, ha, hemos, han. Those, that's how we're going to conjugate haber. And a means I have. But it has to be followed with the participle. I have, like a dog, is tengo, obviously. That has not changed, okay? It only means I have when you're attaching a participle to it. So you have, us, the H is silent, right? Not hey and has or has, right? A is he or she has. Hemos, we have, and han, they or y'all have, okay? Now, to form the main part of the verb, for AR verbs, we drop the AR and we add ado. For ER and IR verbs, we drop the ending and we add ido. That's it. That's it. So if it's a boot verb, don't care. If it's a yo-go verb, so what? If it's, you know, got some other funky spell change going on, don't care. Ado, ido. That's it. Okay? Yes, there are some irregulars. There are some that are not going to follow that rule exactly. Of course, there's always in Spanish, right? But for the most part, that's it. So let's look at what this looks like. Some helpful expressions, not yet and already. We use those a lot. We say, oh, do you want a cup of coffee? Oh, no, thanks. I have already had 2 cups, right? No, I'm good. Or have you had breakfast yet? No, not yet. I have not yet had breakfast, or I have not eaten breakfast. Okay, so those are just some helpful expressions when using this verb tense. So let's practice. How would we do this? All right, so for example, I have not finished, so we would say, yo no he terminado la tarea. Or you could use acabado, same thing, right? I have not finished. So I have is I take the main verb terminar and I change it to ado. No he terminado. I have not finished. Okay, let's look at the second example. She has already had 2 coffees today. Yes, she has. Ella ya ha tomado. I would probably use tomar for café. Tenido café, that's weird. You don't really have a coffee in Spanish, right? You take a coffee. Tomado. Ya ha tomado 2 cafés hoy. Yes? Número 3, my students have not turned in their work. So, mis estudiantes no han. What's to turn in? Entregar, AR verb, drop the AR, add ado. Entregado su trabajo. Facilísimo, ¿verdad? It's so useful and so easy. I have not decided yet. Todavía no he decidido. Todavía no he decidido. Because decidir is to decide. I drop the IR and I add ido. Okay? A little FYI, this is always so fun for me. One of the ways that I know when you guys are using Google is because you'll look up a word, decided. Let's say you want to say, he decided to go to the University of Florida. He decided, not he has decided, but he decided. That's preterite, right? Él decidió. But if you go into Google and you just put decided, that's what you're going to get, decidido. Okay, because it stands alone. It's just decided. It's not he decided, we decided, whatever. It's just decided. So anyway, that's how I know all along when you guys are using Google instead of your preterite knowledge. Because in English, it's the same words. In Spanish, it's all based on the structure of the sentence. My parents haven't been to Hawaii. So that would look like this. Mis padres no han. Now, been is a tricky one. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but it would be estado a Hawaii, right? Because sorry, that would be confusing in my laziness. To be is ser or estar. So we have to think about the rules of ser and estar when we're talking about have or has been. We'll talk about that in a minute. Any questions so far? Anybody want to make a comment or unmute? Pretty easy, I hope. Everybody good so far? Okay. All right, I'm going to move along. Regulars, irregulars. My little box went away. Let's see if I can bring it back. There we go. Irregulars. There's a little song that goes along to help you with the irregulars, of course. Hence the little music note inside my box. And so it goes like this. If you can learn the song, memorize the song, you'll remember your irregulars. Okay, now I won't be testing you on this without your notes right in front of you this year. So, you know, hopefully you'll remember to look at your notes for your irregulars. Remember, an irregular by definition is it does not follow the rules. So abrir is not abrido. We do not drop the IR and add IDO. Okay, it doesn't follow the rules. That's what irregular means. It's its own different word. All right, so the song sounds like this. Abierto, abierto, hecho, roto, cubierto, muerto, visto, dicho, puesto, vuelto, escrito, resuelto, escrito, resuelto. It's like Frere Jacques or something like that, right? Extremely helpful because remember, I told you in the beginning of the lesson, have done, will have done, would have done, had done, all these words, all these verb tenses are so highly used. So these irregulars are extremely highly used, okay? So here's what how they break down. Abierto comes from abrir, so it means open or opened. Like the store has opened, the beaches have opened, gracias a Dios, las playas han abierto, right? Hecho comes from hacer, so to say you have done or have made something, which we use that all the time, right? Have you done your work? Have you done your whatever, right? Have you done your chores? It's not ha sido, it's irregular, it's hecho. Has hecho tu trabajo. So hacer makes hecho and it means done or made. Cubierto comes from cubrir, it means covered. Muerto, as you know, comes from morir and means dead. Now, obviously, a lot of these participle, is what we call those verb forms, are like adjectives, right? When we say, él está muerto, he is dead. We could also say, él ha muerto, he has died. So it's not just dead, it's also died, as in he has died. Visto is seen, and we have seen, hemos visto, esta expresión en el libro mucho, cuando Cristina dice, no, nunca había visto, that's the past one, I had never seen a bullfight. Dicho is from decir, and it means said. Puesto is from poner, and it means put or set. Vuelto comes from volver, so it means returned. I have returned, yo he vuelto. Escrito comes from escribir, so it means written. Have you written the essay yet? Tú has escrito el ensayo o la carta. So it's not escribido, right? You all will probably make that mistake at some point, but it's escrito. And resuelto comes from resolver, so it means resolved or solved. All right, so we've got our forms of haber, has, ha, hemos, han, and we've got some irregulars, okay? He has done the work. Ha hecho el trabajo. Oh, I forgot roto. I'm so sorry, but you know that one already from our chapter 5b. Roto comes from romper, and it means broken, right? As opposed to rompido. You wouldn't say rompido, you would say roto. El brazo está roto. Yo me he roto el brazo. I have broken my arm. All right, so some spelling changes, same verbs that always cause us an issue. This is logical. You guys should recognize this and go, oh yeah, of course they would do that by now, right? You have seen this enough to know. Verbs with 2 vowels in the infinitives are going to require an accent mark. So if I have told you that during quarantine, I have read 2 books so far, yo he leído, because I don't want leído, I want leído, right? I want you to hear the d in there, leído. So there needs to be an accent mark so that those vowels don't combine to leído. Caer is caído, so it's not caído, right? Oír becomes oído. ¿Has oído? ¿Has oído? Have you heard? Such a common expression. And creído instead of creído. Creído, believed. I have believed. Okay, questions? Are we good? I wish I could see your faces. If you want to show me your face, I'd love to see it. Any questions?
No, I think.
You're good so far. Okay. How many of you are on this? I'm curious.
7.
7. Lovely. Okay. Moving right along. Pronouns. What do we do if we have a reflexive verb and you have to have that reflexive pronoun? Like, you know, I have, what have you done so far today? Well, I've woken up and I've gotten up and I've gotten dressed and I've brushed my teeth, but I have not taken a shower yet. Those kinds of things, right? Okay, so where do we put those pronouns? Or if your mom says, have you done your homework? And you said, yes, I've done it. Where do we put the pronouns? Okay, well, just like the same rules for pronouns, nothing has changed. It goes before the conjugated verb, right? That's how it's always been, and that's how it still is. The conjugated verb in these sentences is the verb haber. Your has, a, hemos, han conjugation is your conjugated verb, and so therefore that's where the pronoun must go before the conjugation of haber. Here are some examples. I have not brushed my teeth today. I actually have, thank you. No me he cepillado los dientes. There's a lot of steps going on there. Are you guys with me on this? Let's say that he has not brushed his teeth. No se ha cepillado. So we got to take cepillarse. We got to move the pronoun to the beginning. We have to add our conjugation of haber, and we've got to change cepillar to that participle ado form. Lots of little steps to remember, okay? We have not woken up yet. No, nos. Go ahead, Bobby.
So, what order should it be going in? Does the haber conjugation go before anything else?
The haber conjugation goes right before the participle. Okay, so just like the first page of notes right here, it's haber plus that participle ado ido. So it's one of these forms of the verb, depending on who your subject is, of course, plus this modified, what we call the past participle form. Now I'm adding a pronoun. If a pronoun is required, like me, te, se, lo, la, nos, one of those, right? That's going to go right here. That's going to go in front of the conjugated verb haber. Okay, let's look at some more examples. We have not woken up. To wake up is despertarse. Despertarse. So we've got to take the se and turn it into nos because it's about we, and that's going to go first. Then the nosotros form of haber, which is hemos. Then we've taken our main verb despertar and turned it into the participle. Nos hemos despertado. Okay, if you have a pronoun requirement that is not reflexive, but maybe a direct object pronoun like in number 3, same rules apply. I have so much homework, but I haven't done it yet. Tengo mucha tarea, pero no la he hecho todavía. La is the word for it, referring to the homework. I haven't done it. If you remember from what Ms. Green taught you last year, it goes in front of the conjugated verb. No la he hecho. And remember, hecho is irregular for hacer. Okay, what about if you're using gustar and encantar? Well, remember with gustar and encantar, we only ever use gusta or gustan. We never use gusto. So now in the participle form, we're either going to say ha gustado or han gustado. It has pleased me. It has been pleasing to me. I have always loved pizza. Siempre me ha encantado pizza. If I tell you I love pizza, it would be me encanta pizza. If I tell you that my husband also loves pizza, I would say le encanta pizza, right? So if I have always loved pizza, but he has not always loved pizza, siempre me ha encantado pizza. Pero a mi esposo no siempre le ha encantado pizza. Okay, these are complicated structures because remember in these gusta and encanta statements, we're actually saying that the pizza has pleased me or the pizza has pleased him. So they're different and funky. You know that about gusta. All right, the last example with a pronoun is I lost my books. Have you seen them? Perdí mis libros. Have you seen them? Direct object pronoun referring to my books, and that's got to go in front of the conjugated haber. So los has visto. Remember, visto is irregular form of ver, seen. Los has visto. Preguntas? Okay, last little bit. This is a tricky thought. I've seen students struggle with this, so I want to break it down a little bit for you and hope that you can understand it, or at least acknowledge it as something tricky. So stop and think about it when you are using it in the have or has been. Okay, that can be tricky because there can be other parts of the verb that follow along. So for example, when you are wanting to say has or have been, that requires the use of ser or estar, right? To be. Ser would be sido and estar would be estado. Same rules, drop the er, add ido. Oh, and by the way, the verb ir, it is ido. It's just ido. I have gone. I have gone to the grocery store 6 times this week. Yo he ido al supermercado 6 veces esta semana. He ido. It's just ido. Okay, super easy. But when you want to say has been, you have to think about your rules for ser and estar. Okay, description, ownership, occupation, those are ser. I have been a teacher for many years. Yo he sido profesora. We can also say por muchos años, right? These are also like hace expressions. Hace muchos años que yo soy profesora. That's one way to do it for Spanish 1 kids who don't know how to say this, but both ways is completely acceptable. Yo he sido. I have been, word for word. Okay, she has been sick. That's a condition. That's a star. So ella ha estado enferma. Ha estado enferma. They haven't been friends. Ser or estar, ID, identity, right? It's who you are, not how you feel. So it's no han, my bad, sido amigos. Haven't been to a restaurant in months. Location, right? Location, been to a place. No hemos estado. Now this would be en un restaurante. Or if you want to say I haven't gone to a restaurant, You could do it that way. No hemos ido a un restaurante. Or no hemos estado en un restaurante. You can say that either way. Here's where it gets tricky, but something that you're going to want to use. Have been working, have been running. This is something you might want for your letter to Christina's Spanish teacher. That's your assignment for tomorrow. It's not tricky, okay? You just need to point it out to you. What verb do we use with that ing form of the verb, with that progressive ing? I am talking and I have been talking. It's a star with the ando yendo, right? So it's the same thing here. Check it out. Ellos han estado trabajando. Han estado trabajando. They have been working. Okay? Sido and estado both mean been. You just have to think about which one am I going to use, grammatically speaking.
So the only thing, like when you said this is the tricky thought, there's no like special rule for the present perfect. The tricky part is just identifying which verb to use. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. There's no strange conjugations. There's no, it's just that people, they see this word been and they're like, what is that? Well, it's to be. So it's either say or a star. Same rules apply. Because this structure is super useful, right? I've been running a lot. Like, oh, how do I do that?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yo he estado corriendo. Okay? So it's just that word been that get to people. I have been what? You got to think about it. Okay? So that is the nuts and bolts of the present perfect. And then some. I've told you where the pronouns go, the irregulars, the ones that require special accent marks. So we're gonna, in your letter to Christina's teacher tomorrow, I've only asked you to use this 3 times in your letter. You can use it more, but I'm really just wanting you to use it 3 times. We're gonna work with this a lot more next week until it becomes a little more natural, hopefully. So the only thing for you today, which you can copy and paste this onto a Word document and just practice yourself. It's just a completion. It's not graded, but I will give you some feedback. The reason I ask you guys to submit things as a PDF is because then Canvas allows me to go in and add text boxes, and I can give you some feedback. So if you do it in a Word document, save it as a PDF and submit it, then I can read through them and give you some feedback. Okay, so just practice, maybe go do it right now while it's fresh. And in your letter to Christina tomorrow, you only need to try this out for three different times somewhere in your letter. Okay, any questions?
Nope. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Nice to hear from you guys. I didn't really get to see you, but nice to hear from you.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How do I stop my recording?